What's up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here, and I'm gonna be making this video and getting ready for work at the same time, so there's gonna be a lot of things happening. One, yesterday's video. I've told you a lot about my father. And how little he cared. Well, now I'm going to tell you about my mother. To her credit, my mom has been there. My mom has been there, but she hasn't really cared. I mean, she's supposed to be living with us, but she's moved out. And, well, she's moved out twice. And I love my mom. Don't get me wrong. I love her, and I have more respect for her than I do my dad. But I really never had a mother figure, and I really never had a father figure. And it pains me to say that I wish my dad was in the picture. And my mom comes around, but not by much. You see, my mom has always been interested in guys. It's always guys. And as much as I want her to learn from her mistakes, she's not going to. Why do I say that? Because my mom has been married 3 times. Once to my dad's cousin James. The other to my dad. And the other to my stepdad. Well, former stepdad. But my stepdad was a freeloader. My mom and my grandma would work, and they'd come home, and he would do nothing but sit on his rear end and watch TV, play video games, play on the computer. He would do absolutely nothing. And that's sad. His daughters really were no better than he was. Well, I guess like father, like daughter. Right? But back to my mom. My mom she never really seemed to care. She never really seemed to get it, and that's what and the entire reason in my video yesterday titled More About My Father, and I love and appreciate Anton and Sarah. When I said that the moment that you give birth to children, the I, there is no I anymore. It's all about your children and it's all about you. That's what I was trying to say, is that when you have children, you just can't run off and leave your children. You just can't run and do whatever you want because there's another individual there. There watching your kids. Well, don't you think that your kids would like to see the mother or like to see the father or like to see both? But no, when they're off doing their own thing, they don't give a damn about their kids. I had a hard time forgiving my mother for one thing. And that's because she had control over our SSI checks. They were going to her. Come to find out that the funds that our SSI checks that she was getting were being used improperly. I had a hard time forgiving her for that. Because that's me and Whitney's money. But parents, you have, whether you want to realize it or not, you have a responsibility. Whether your kid is 7 or 17, you still have a responsibility to be there for them when they need you. You don't think I would love to you don't think I would love to see parents nowadays actually care about their kids. And I know there are parents out there that are good parents, but then again, there are parents that should have just there are mothers, there are mothers and there are husbands, there are mothers and there are dads that just shouldn't have had sex. I watched a Judge Judy case where there was this mother who told her 6-year-old daughter that the person that she has known all of her life to be her father isn't her father, who turned out to be her father. You want to know what Judge Judy called her? A moron! A moron! And that's what a lot of parents are nowadays. They are morons. Because, now I know there are good parents. I see good parents. And I see bad parents. Now trust me, I know that parents, I know parents that you try to raise your kids up right and they end up rebelling against you, or because you want to know what I did in my rebellious phase? I slapped my mother in her face. That's what I did. Now to my stepdad. If there was one word I could describe my stepdad by, it would be an asshole. And why? Well, I'm just going to tell you about one incident when he was living with us. It was me, my mom, him, Kayla, his daughter Andy, and his daughter Allie, and Whitney. Oh, and my grandma. We come home from church one Sunday night. And lo and behold, he's mad over a freaking BB gun. My uncle and my aunt were here. And he goes, I'm going to go get my BB gun. So he goes to my grandma's shed. He goes, where's my gun? And Kayla goes, Doug's got a BB gun. And he goes, well, bring it out here and let me see it. He goes, that's not his gun, that's my gun. And so he took it. Doug, the following night, there was a cat that wouldn't leave us alone. So he goes, I'm gonna go get my gun. So he looks all around. He looks all around, right? And he couldn't find his gun, so he comes to the door, the screen door, and he yells, "Where is my gun?" And Mom goes, "Honey, I don't know." And I step, and I had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And I go, Uncle Perry took it. Well, he took that as Uncle Perry was in his room. Which, by the way, you worthless, sorry piece of shit. That's not your room. And I try to tell you that. But, anyway. He's not my stepdad, so I'll just call him Doug. So, and that's exactly what I called him when he was living here, Doug. He wasn't a stepfather. I can guarantee you that. The only thing that changed is that my mom and my grandma were working hard to support his ass. That's the only thing that changed. But anyway, when I was walking to my room, and I'm in the living room, and he's in the bedroom, and he goes, "That means that motherfucker's been in my room too." So, fast forward to Sunday night. I hear Granny and I hear Doug going at it. I mean, they are yelling. And the next thing I know, and when I heard that, I went up there to protect my granny because I didn't want anything to happen to her. So, then I begin to run my mouth. And for anyone that knows me, they can tell you, I have a big mouth. So, after tempers settled down, settled, my mom and Doug took Whitney and Kayla first. Then it was me. And I looked at my mom and I go, "What in the world did I do?" And she was like right here. She was right here in my face. And I told her, "Can you please back up?" She goes, "No." All right. So, I listened to a lecture. Meanwhile, Doug's on the computer playing a game. And he was still pissed off. Well, you know what? You know what? I got something to say about that incident. Folks, it was never his gun. We were over at my aunt's and uncle's one time, and my uncle wanted to show me proof. So he just broke off the stock of the gun and showed us the little white disc, and the initials said PL. Now let me tell you guys about my twin, Whitney. Whitney? I love Whitney. And she's doing all right. Now let me tell you about Kayla. Kayla is drunk. Kayla's drama. I mean, her mouth goes from 0 to 90 in like 10 seconds. Now let me tell you about my grandma. My grandma is 79. And she still works. She still works. She has basically raised us for 13 years. And I love my grandma. And I respect her. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. But it's been hardcore. This has been Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.